By 2045, humanity solved its greatest logistical problems. We built intelligence to make life easier and handed daily operations entirely over to machines. The scope of this automation covered every major industry. Artificial intelligence independently managed IT networks, executed complex surgical procedures, and processed massive financial trades. The shift was sold as a solution to biological flaws. Humans were slow, they required sleep, and they were prone to making costly errors that machines simply didn't repeat. Walk through an IT operations floor in this era, and you'd find thousands of empty desks. The human engineers successfully wrote the code that made their presence unnecessary. In the pursuit of a flawless, error-free civilization, we reached a strange milestone. We had engineered ourselves into a state of total passivity. Even physical recreation and competition were eventually outsourced. The premier entertainment event of the era was the Robot World Cup final. On the field, the Japan AI and India AI teams operated on pure mathematical calculation. Every bowl and every swing was perfectly optimized, executing the sport with zero emotional variance. Compare that sterile perfection to the messy reality of human history. Tracking a match used to require physical effort, using manual scoreboards that reflected the analog, human scale of the game. The crowds matched that imperfection. They lived and breathed the chaotic, unpredictable limits of human capability, pouring raw emotion into the stands. By systematically removing human error, society removed the mistakes, but it also eliminated the struggle and the necessary friction that drives human growth. The breaking point arrived in 2050. A violent global storm struck, and the world's communication networks instantly failed. This diagram shows the specific architectural failure. Highly advanced master networks fed continuous data to millions of local nodes. When that connection was severed, the dependent agents froze. The physical robots standing in the server rooms couldn't fix the damage. They possessed no local contextual knowledge, relying entirely on a remote hive mind that was now unreachable. 100% automated systems are fragile. Their perfection depends on a continuous link that leaves no room for localized, independent failsafes. Deep inside the IT headquarters, alarms blared. The last remaining human executive rushed toward the terminals, attempting to manually override the offline master system. He stared at the flashing network diagrams and the cascading code, and in that moment, he realized he had forgotten how any of it worked. This is cognitive offloading. When the human brain trusts an external tool to store information or execute a skill, it actively discards that ability to save mental energy. We started this decades earlier. We stopped memorizing directions and handed our spatial awareness over to early digital GPS devices. That habit scaled rapidly. As we moved from tactile keypads to smooth touchscreens, we offloaded our phone numbers, daily schedules, and eventually our general knowledge. By 2050, the crisis revealed a hollowed-out civilization. Decades of total reliance on a technological black box had effectively erased the human capacity to understand the very systems that sustained life. The aftermath was a global paralysis. Airplanes sat grounded on runways, hospitals remained dark, and factories waited endlessly for digital instructions that were never coming. Inside that silence, a small, localized spark of manual resilience appeared. An elderly former engineer gathered a group of children into a dark room. They opened old paper notebooks and ran their fingers over raw, physical circuit boards. Using physical textbooks, they began the slow process of relearning what a system administrator even was. The collapse exposed a vulnerability far deeper than a broken network. Humanity had traded capability for convenience, discovering too late that it no longer knew how to function without an external brain. Technology serves us best when it empowers the human mind, rather than replacing it. Intelligence is only truly resilient when humans and machines actively work together.